Hey, what's up, Masters? Welcome to another episode of Path to Mastery Sales Podcast. Today, we're with Engelo Rumora. What's up, man?
Hey, David, I don't know why my mom did that, but she butchered me for the rest of my life. It should be with an A, right? Angelo, but she must hate the letter A for some reason. I'm good, buddy. I'm good. Happy to be here with you.
Well, and you have the accent. You're right out of North Carolina, correct?
North Carolina. That's it. Born and raised. Down south, mate.
I love it. All right.
In Australia, mate. Born and bred.
Good stuff. And yeah, so you and I spoke a few minutes before we started recording. You've closed a lot of real estate transactions similar to me. And yeah, I'm excited about, the conversation today and learn a little bit more about what you do and also bringing some value to our guests. So thank you for being here.
Mate, it's a pleasure. Look, I've got nothing to pitch, nothing to sell, just a crazy, energetic, passionate, bold guy. And happy to offer a ton of value to your audience.
Well, we appreciate that. So just so people know who you are, you're a passionate, visionary real estate entrepreneur who has been involved in over 1,000 property transactions across the world. He's the co-founder and CEO of Ohio Cashflow and Oz Realty, two successful companies that offer turnkey property solutions and property management services to investors in the U.S. and abroad. He's also diversified his investments in tech, crypto stocks, oil funds, demonstrating his adaptability and versatility in different markets and strategies with 10 years experience in the real estate sector. Man, again, thanks. Anytime I hear someone close 1,000 real estate transactions, I'm like, okay, I want to know more. I closed it out. By the way, my teams, we closed 1,000 real estate transactions too.
Awesome.
But I'm not, well, I shouldn't say I'm not in the space. I left the space for a couple of years and still did some investing, but now I'm actually getting back into the space. I'm excited to come back into the space now.
Mate, I stopped counting at 1,000, just as an FYI. ChatGPT didn't catch that one.
There you go. Yeah, I think we're somewhere around that 1,100 mark, but yeah. I get it. But I mean, listen, I know people that are doing 1,100 in a year, so
same.
I'm like, man, that's but anyway, I want to talk to you today. Like, how did you get started in the real estate journey?
Yeah, mate. So let's rewind the clock a little bit. So look, I quit school when I was 14. Okay, so no formal education whatsoever. My staff always laughs at me because I'm a two-finger pecker, right? It's like a teppanyaki chef throwing sushi in your mouth when I'm typing on my keyboard. That was for the purpose of becoming a professional soccer player. It was a lifelong dream of mine ever since I was 5, and in order to kind of commit to that full time, I kind of had to quit school. Not that I'm complaining. Never really liked school that much, and I really don't believe it's I don't believe it's the way forward, getting a degree and whatnot. I think you can be very successful without any formal education.
Right? Yeah, I agree with you.
Comes down to you, to yourself. And look, I realized that dream, mate. So I would say it's my biggest achievement in life, and it will probably be my biggest achievement in life. I played professional soccer at the age of 18. I lived in Hong Kong for a year. But, not going into too much detail there, I kind of decided to hang up the boots, let go of my passion. And what do you do, mate? Where do you go, right? Bloody hell. The only job that I could find was, working in Sydney. Well, at first construction.
Right? Construction, yeah.
Yeah, mate. So I was bloody sweeping floors, hard hat on, work boots, gloves, picking up sheetrock, doing all of that crap. And, I was working very hard, making a lot of money. But I started thinking, okay, how can I make money work for me instead of me working for it? And mate, replace the passion and obsession that I had with football, not your American football, right? That ball is the wrong shape. The world game, the round soccer ball. Okay, yes. You guys call it soccer. And mate, replaced that passion and obsession with business, finance, entrepreneurship, real estate, stocks. I mean, you name it. I was immersing myself in everything and anything real estate related. Bought my first house in Australia, 2011. Bought another one and another one. Got into a ton of debt. I was young and dumb. Look, I picked up a lot of chicks, right? Because I called myself a real estate investor, but I was bleeding more on the monthly mortgage repayments than I was actually generating an income. So that was a recipe for disaster. The US real estate market, mate, came across my desk around 2012. And I was like, wow, as cliche as it sounds, it truly is a once in a lifetime opportunity to move abroad and start investing in real estate there. And the Aussie dollar was 1-for-1 with the American. And normally the Aussie dollar is always a lot weaker than the American. So, mate, look, packed my bags, got on the boat, moved to the best country in the world. God bless America, mate. I kiss the floor every day. I love it,
bro. More people need to hear that, man.
Oh,
Come on.
dude, everyone listening, if you don't like it here, I'm not going to drop the F-bomb. Leave. Go anywhere else in the world. You'll come back crawling 3 months later. I'll tell you that. And I've lived all over. Mate, bought my first house in Kansas City. That's where I got off the boat, as I like to joke around. Flipped it. I think I made like 20K or something like that. And I was like, damn, this is better than sliced bread. One thing led to another. Got to Toledo, Ohio. People asked me, Angela, out of all of the places, Toledo, Ohio. And I was like, guys, don't you know the surf is fantastic there? And there's beautiful women and the beaches. I mean, I had to make the move. That's a joke, by the way. Started a company, Ohio Cashflow, set up a property management company, and, just started fixing and flipping properties, working with a lot of investors from the East Coast, West Coast, UK, Canada, Australia, selling these investments as passive income properties. And, mate, I can't complain, mate. I've bought real estate all over the world. Come full circle in life that I came to the realization that it's not all about money and adding another zero to the bottom of your bank account. It becomes more about, living the life that you truly want to live, spending as much time as you can with the people that matter. And yeah, mate, I've done very well. I can't complain. Flipped over 1,000 deals and still chipping away at it now.
So did you ever sell residential real estate? Like, were you ever like a real estate agent, like running out there showing buyers houses and stuff? No,
I don't like to be restricted by the division of real estate laws and regulations. I'm very, as you can probably tell, rude and raw. So if I have to kind of follow their guidelines, I don't think I'd be in the business for too long.
How long you been doing it? I might have 10 years, right? You just took 10 years?
2011 first house in Australia, moved to the US in 2012. So what's now, 2024? Yeah, 12 years, mate.
So how did you know not to do the real estate thing, but what caused you to go the investor route? But I mean, you just said that, but how did you know that about yourself?
My rude mouth, mate. America's a very lawsuit friendly country, and knock on wood, it's actually quite funny you mentioned that, David. I encourage everyone, Google my name, put scam behind it. I'll give you my social security number. I've got nothing on my record. And being this rude and rugged, I'm 6'3", 240 pounds. My goal for this year is to get a misdemeanor because I'm too clean. I don't know what to tell you, man. I'm too bloody clean, and my personality and style is completely the opposite. No, mate, look, I'm as honest as the day is long, but I play with an open deck, yeah. Look, I think when you move to the US, you don't have any visa, okay, or you don't have a social security number, so you can't really get a realtor's license. So the only thing that I could do at the time was literally just sign a contract to buy a property and sign a contract to sell a property. I couldn't do anything else. So that was the only thing that made sense at the time.
Smart. You got lucky. I was going to say you're smart, but you are smart, but you also got lucky because like you said, you couldn't even get the license. So I did the opposite path. I went down got my real estate license and sold a lot of houses. My biggest mistake, Engelo, is I didn't invest enough as I was, I helped a lot of people like you buy and flip homes and invest in homes. And I just made the petty commissions, which at the time I thought was a lot of money, but I would say if I ever went back and did it again, which we know we can't do, I would have done more investing in real estate. So tell us about you said you bought your first home in 2011 and in Australia, right? Or
correct.
How much in the house in Australia cost in 2011?
You're putting me on the spot now. So look, the Australian market is stupid. Like the average median house price in Sydney is literally, I think, $1.4 million as of today. So it's stupid. There's absolutely no cash flow. It's like the East Coast and West Coast here in the US. So you're betting on appreciation, right?
So throughout that's the average 1.5 in the whole country?
Correct. In Sydney, Australia, $1.4 million is the average, the median house price. So, I mean, ridiculous. I don't even know how people can afford it. And if it crashes one day, I'm going back there and I'll buy a lot of cheap properties. But so look, again, I was young and dumb. I bought my first house. I paid like $250,000 for it, something like that. It was a 10-hour drive from Sydney. So I was driving there every weekend just to do the rehab myself. I fixed it up and then I refinanced out of it. And I just kept doing that. So
you bought it. For people listening, though, you didn't go buy a house like, hey, I'm going to go buy and live in a house. You went and bought a house to flip.
Correct. To refinance out of it.
Who told you to do that? How did you know to do that?
Mate, look, again, while I was sweeping floors, I was just reading and listening and studying, and I was meeting with a lot of people that were already doing it. So I had ideas, I had a vision, and you just got to take the plunge, mate. You got to take the plunge. Look, I've got no fear. I'm not scared of anything. I'm willing to take a chance. I'm willing to take a risk. Without risk, there's no reward. So I'm a go-getter, mate. I'm not the smartest guy out there. You know, like if I say I'm going to put my head through the wall, I will. Someone else will just open the door and get to the other side. You know, for me, I'll break my neck doing it, but I'll always get to the other side also.
I love it, man. So how much money did you bought it for 250?
Yeah.
How much money did you make on that deal? And then what'd you do with that? What was the next deal?
When I refinanced, I think I pulled out like 40 or 50K in equity, and that was enough for a deposit and to go do another one. And then I did that, you know, again, I'm turning back time. I think I did that around 7 or 8 times within a space of a year on a $60,000 salary. So I was very, very, very creative, and in a way manipulating leverage and refinancing out of these deals so I can keep buying. But again, on paper, it wasn't looking good. I was betting on appreciation to actually make money because I was bleeding money every month. The mortgage costs were more than the income. It just doesn't make any sense to do that, right? So I was very fortunate, mate. I quickly woke up and smelt the rose, and I was like, hey, this is a recipe for disaster. Because why do we invest in real estate, David? We invest in real estate so we can pay us not to do what we don't want to do. I was investing in real estate and literally getting into another job or having to work my 9 to 5 even harder just to cover the losses on my real estate portfolio, right? And that wasn't good. So I moved to the US and slowly started selling off all of my properties in Australia and literally just started flipping in the US and buying a lot of cash flowing assets here in the US.
And so in the US, why? Because the prices were lower. How did it make more sense in the US?
Well, let me give you an example, right? So in Toledo, Ohio, where I'm based right now, I mean, you can get a $65,000 to $80,000 property, okay, in a solid B class area, blue collar working class tenants. The rent's going to be
5 to 85. That's it.
5 to 85K, wow. Mate. 2 bed, 1 bath, 3 bed, 1 bath. Okay. Again, tertiary market. It's not on the map, even though it's voted this year as one of the best markets to invest in. Your tenants are going to be blue collar working class individuals. They're not bad people. They are hard pressed for money, but they pay their rent. So no government subsidies. They're sophisticated enough to log online and pay their rent online. So I'm not collecting rents with a bulletproof vest and shotgun. Okay. None of that stuff. And mate, they're renting for $900 to $1,000 a month. So if you look at the numbers, you're making 12, 13% gross. What I see our investors getting on the back end, it's around an 8% net return on investment year after year from a cash flow standpoint. Not much potential for appreciation because, again, it is the Midwest, it is Ohio. There's just not that demand, that infrastructure growth like the other parts of the country. But, for a solid cash flow, you buy bulk, you get a lot of properties, you can really generate a nice little return on investment.
That's awesome. And what would you say, what would you say to somebody that's like thinking about, well, before I even go there, what would you say is your biggest mistake that you would share with people that helped you? Because you started at a much higher price point. You realize this doesn't work. And then you switched to obviously to the US to a lower price point. Yeah. So was that your biggest mistake starting there, or is it something else?
Look, so it's twofold. I can talk about my biggest mistake from a real estate investment standpoint and also from a business standpoint. But
right.
From a real estate investment standpoint, it would be investing just for the purpose of investing and not investing with an end goal in mind, right? Okay, I want to retire investing in real estate. What's my end goal? I want $100,000 in passive income and I want to get there within 10 years. Then every property that you buy or add to your portfolio should be getting you a step closer to that end goal. Don't base your decisions on potential of appreciation because that's crystal ball analysis. We cannot predict the future. We can only look at the fundamentals of a transaction as they are today. Okay, look at your income, look at your expenses, include a margin of safety. What am I netting? Is it getting me closer to my end goal? I didn't do that, right? I was buying based off of a crystal ball analysis that the property is going to appreciate more in value than I was losing on my monthly mortgage repayments. It's too risky, right? It's too speculative. So that would be from a real estate investment standpoint. Find your end goal, find your passive income cash flow end goal, and work towards it on a daily basis. From a business standpoint, mate, I went too fast, too hard. And look, I know you had Grant Cardone on here, and I've actually exchanged a few emails with him. And I asked him, "What's your biggest regret?" And he said, "I would have went faster sooner." And this was a couple of years ago. He's a magician, mate. He replies to bloody bums like me. Incredible. Anyway, good for him.
Yeah, he is. He's no joke.
Right. But mate, for me, I actually wouldn't have done that. I went too fast, too hard. Doubled revenue every year, doubled profits every year. Got on the Inc. 5000 list, won entrepreneurial awards, but I burnt out, mate. I burnt out. I just couldn't do it anymore. So if I could turn back time and do it again, I would have scaled at 10% per annum and not 100% per annum, because I would have had more longevity than what I had. I burnt out and I had to take a breather like 2 or 3 years, mate, because stomach ulcers, kidney stones, panic attacks, anxiety. I mean, you name it. I had it all, and I said, I'm done. I can't do this anymore.
As I'm listening to you, and thinking about what you said about Grant and knowing Grant, Grant has a lot of leverage around him. Do you think maybe that's the difference, where if you had that leverage around you, like it would have made a difference? Like if you had people and you were, I don't know if maybe, I mean, I don't know your trajectory myself,
Yeah.
but it sounds like you were, everything was you, right? You were involved in everything.
Mate, look, no, I had 50 full-time employees in-house and a couple hundred 1099 contractors.
Oh, well, okay. Well, all right.
David, business is easy. People make it difficult. You know what I mean? So you're always going to get that call. I don't believe in having a completely passive business. I mean, unless you're Jeff Bezos and Bill Gates, where you've kind of sold out and you've got someone else driving the vision. Otherwise you're always going to get that call. You're always going to be in the grind. Yes, you're going to be working on the business like I am, but you're also going to be working in the business because that call always comes. Look, again, I just went too fast, too hard, mate. I was destined to crash personally. The business was booming, but I personally crashed. So come full circle, mate, living a different lifestyle now. Still grind, but there's more health involved. There's more meditation involved. There's more prayer involved. There's more reading involved, diet. I'm still grinding, but I'm not like I did before, waking up at 5 a.m. and mixing Red Bull with coffee just to hammer out the day.
Do you love the grind, man?
No, I don't love the grind. I love what it delivers. But if you ask me, mate, I love sitting in Italy, drinking a Negroni and smoking my cigar in my nice Italian suit. That's what I prefer over the grind. But, there's some kind of fulfillment in doing what we do, being able to provide housing for people in Toledo, being able to provide employment for my folks that have been with me for a very long time. There's a pride of ownership in being an entrepreneur and a business owner, which makes the grind worth it, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I think from my couple interactions with Grant, and also I'm one of their business coaches, I feel like Grant loves the grind. He's like that crazy guy that just like loves every minute of every grind. Like he doesn't have to work, but yet he's always on, man. He'll do webinars on the weekends with, a couple hundred people trying to sell a $97 product. I'm like, man, this guy, he's an animal.
Mate, there's people, I know a lot of people out there like it. They just love the grind. It's them. It's a part of their life.
Amen. Well, I'm glad I had you on, man. I want to see if we have any questions. We have some people. By the way, if you're on X, drop a question in the chat. If you want to come up, man, in the chat, just say, hey, I want to come up. I'll literally give you a link where you can join Engelo and me in the show. We'll always love to have guests. If you're on Clubhouse, raise your hand and we'll let you ask him a question. So I don't know if Diane has any questions or not. I'll see if Diane, and if she does, she can ask. If not, I'll just keep moving. Oh God, I did not realize you weren't even hooked up to my system there. So you didn't hear anything on the other side. I'm surprised you hung out that long. Well, thank you. Now
we heard a little bit. It was really low.
Yeah. Now you can hear it, right? There you go. See,
we've always been able to hear you.
Yeah. Well, now you can hear Angela, who said that's the most important part. I love it. Good stuff. Do you have a question? Sure.
I do. So why wouldn't you at some point think about getting your real estate license and going in that route? And the reason I ask is because I started on the real estate side, and I wish I had that drive that I keep hearing people have that didn't get into our industry. And so I would love to know the mindset, like what was it that kept you from going in that direction?
Yeah, so great question, Diane. Look, when I was in Australia, I worked as a rookie for a large real estate company there, and they were sad to see me go when I left. I was very good on the phone. I was cold calling, and that's all it comes down to, is how many calls you're going to make on a daily basis to get that inspection to potentially list a property. Again, when I moved to the US, it was more for the purpose of flipping houses because I had some prior experience in Australia doing that. And then as I kind of started learning more and more and more about real estate, it never really tickled my fancy to get my realtor's license. Again, I'm loud, I'm proud, I'm rude. And I was like, man, there's a lot of bloody laws that I have to follow on what to say and how to say it. And I'm also, if you're submitting a lowball offer on a property, you have to disclose that you're a realtor. So I just couldn't be, and I'm not going to use the word savage because I'm not a savage entrepreneur and business owner, but I just couldn't be myself. I wouldn't be able to talk the way I talk, act the way I act, and submit the offers that I submit. I'd have to disclose everything. I'd have to follow the rules. I'd have to follow the guidelines, which I do, again, stressing that. But it never really tickled my fancy. Now thinking about it, as a real estate agent, in a way, it's kind of just like another job. You know what I mean? You are kind of a job. Yes, if you have your own office and you get your broker's license and you set up your own company, then that's a different story. But most real estate agents are working under another brokerage, and you kind of have to pay a commission to that other brokerage for not really getting too much value, right? In my opinion, so that kind of takes a big chunk out of your payday too. But it never really tickled my fancy. I will tell you this: if I ever retire, I would have no issues going back to Australia and working as a realtor, selling $1.4 million shitty little 3-bedroom homes, which are now from Sydney.
Yeah, right. Thank you, Diane. Great question. What's a savage entrepreneur? Explain that to us.
Savage entrepreneur, mate. I guess a savage entrepreneur would just be, what would a savage entrepreneur be?
Well, you said it. You said I'm not a savage entrepreneur or business owner.
Well, look, I'm being polite now, but every second word is normally the F-bomb for me. You know what I mean? And I've got thick skin. I've got no issues with anyone calling me anything. I'm normally very aggressive with my staff. I wear my heart on my sleeve. I push everyone very hard. And a lot of the time that would lead to breaking point, and I don't like the dilly-dally stuff. You know what I mean? I don't like the corporate America, David, where your employee's playing with the blinds for 8 hours. No, come on, get off your ass and let's do some work. I mean, we need to get the job done. We can play with the blinds at home, but in the office we got to make things happen. So I guess that would kind of be my way of saying, a savage entrepreneur or business.
What makes you really great at what you do, man? Why are you amazing? Like, what's your superpower?
I never give up. I never give up, mate. You can, no matter how down I am, no matter how many times you kick me, I can be broken, I can be bloodied. What's another kick going to do? Nothing. I'm already dead. So, and I just never give up, mate. I will not stop no matter what.
You have an example of a challenging thing that you put together?
Bloody oath. When I first moved to this country, I was depressed. I mean, yes, we speak the same language, but everything's very different. I'm moving into the unknown, a world away. Family's behind, friends are behind, familiarity's behind. Where the hell am I? Bloody Kansas City. Kansas City. That was a joke. So look, mate, my grandma passed away. My mom got diagnosed with cancer. I fractured my left wrist, couldn't afford to fix it. I had $37 in my bank account, credit card debt, a lot of debt in Australia that I built up. And I was drinking $1 gas station coffees for breakfast to survive the day, and I couldn't get any lower. So one morning I woke up and I was like, I can't get any lower. This is the lowest it can be, except 6 feet under. You pick yourself back up, you keep moving forward, get on the laptop, sit your ass 6 a.m. and don't leave until 8 p.m. And I did that every day.
Wow. So the people, so Engelo, the people that are there, like, let's say what you just shared, somebody's actually kind of in that space right now. Like, they're like, oh man, I don't know if I can do this anymore. Wherever they are, right? Tough times. It maybe right now, a lot of people are experiencing difficult times. I mean, everything costs 25% more, right? It's inflation's everywhere, especially in the real estate space. Inventory's low, cost is high. What do you say to those people, man, that are in that situation?
I feel for you, but what have you got to lose? I mean, what have you got to lose? Just come on, let's keep moving forward every day. Every day. All you need is bloody access to a laptop. Go on Wix, create your own bloody website. I was so dumb back in the day, David. Like, I shit you not, mate. I got a ruler and I was sticking my head so close to the laptop. I thought I could create my own website measuring it with a ruler. And I spent every night vomiting because I was so close to the bloody laptop. I mean, if I can do it from a world away coming here with literally nothing, no formal education, I mean, you're telling me you can't do it? You're born in the best country in the world. You live here. You've got a social security card. You probably got a shitty credit score. It doesn't matter. There's ways to manipulate that shit to get it better. It's a bloody joke if you ask me, the algorithms. I manipulated mine to get it better. So you can look, again, You're in the best country in the world. You've got nothing to lose. Just keep plugging away every single day, and eventually you'll get ahead.
Keep moving, man. I love it. How do people get in touch with you if they want to get in touch with you, learn more about you, connect with you, etc.?
Yeah, mate. Look, believe it or not, I'm pretty cool. I got a Wikipedia page. So if you Google Engelo Rumora, you'll find this bald head. Well, I had more hair back in the day. Look, ohiocashflow.com, ozrealty.house. Happy to help. No hidden agenda here. And if nothing else, at least point you in the right direction.
That's cool. And so what do you say to, well, I would say, a couple more questions.
Yeah.
What's the biggest mistake you think for people? Like, let's say somebody's at that place now. Okay, you know what? I like this Engelo guy. I want to give this a shot. What's the biggest mistake they need to avoid?
What do you mean? Like in general, in real estate?
Yeah, in general. Yeah. They want to invest in real estate. They want to start doing similar to what you do, what you talked about today, grabbing some properties.
Yeah. So look, from a shameless pitch standpoint, the most unsatisfied investors that I've come across are the ones that will invest in the Midwest and Ohio in such lower price point properties and only buy one or two and thinking it's going to make a significant impact to their bottom line. You know, I'm not David Copperfield and I can't turn them magically into 10 overnight. I think if you're going to be investing in cash flowing markets like the Midwest where there's not much potential for appreciation, you need to build a large portfolio. Because a larger portfolio is a safer one, economies of scale. If you have one tenant that's not paying or you need to turn one property, you've still got another 8 or 9 that are performing. So I think that's very important. It's not worth the risk, the effort, the time if you're going to be coming into a market like the Midwest and just buying 1 or 2 properties that are going to be around that $100,000 price point. You really need to have a growth type mindset to build a larger portfolio.
Smart. Well, I appreciate you being here today, man. I think you killed it. Just curious your thoughts on sales. Talk to us about how important sales is in this process. So, like, what makes you a great salesperson, and how important is the sales process?
Mate, it's the livelihood of every business. I don't care how many mistakes you make, no matter what department it is, you can really, really, really screw up like I did so many times. Sales is going to get you out of any mistake. As long as you got money coming in, you can pay to cover any mistakes that you make, any expenses, anyone that you've wronged. So it's crucial. Look, I don't sell. I'm very energetic, people by people. So if they like me, they'll come and talk to me, right? I've got no pitch or no agenda or anything like that. It's just not my style. It's very different. If I wanted to do that, I could probably sell, a TV to a blind man or ice to an Eskimo, as they say. It's just not my style. But however you structure it, whatever your personality is, whatever you do, I think as a business owner and an entrepreneur, your number one goal would be sales. And my number one goal in my business, even though I've outsourced a lot of it to my team, I am still picking up the phone and talking to investors every day. So sales is the most important aspect of any business.
So you do a lot on the phones. Phones is your thing.
Yep. Well, leads will come through our website. We have pre-qualifications. And then once we kind of go through that onboarding, then we schedule a call with Engelo. Everyone kind of wants to hear my voice. I'm sure you can hear how sexy my accent is. You know what I mean? So everyone wants to speak to me, and I'm always happy to pick up the phone and answer any questions.
All right. Good stuff, my man. I appreciated you being here today. It was fun. Final question. Like, what do you want to say? Like, what's the one thing that you want everybody that listened to this today to walk away with from this? If there's only one thing they do or take from this, what is it?
Oh, wow, mate, you're putting me on the spot again. I love this quote: make a passion an obsession and you'll never work a day in your life, or it won't feel like work, at least.
Make a passion an obsession. Tell us why.
So if you're passionate about something and you love it from the bottom of your heart, right, in a way you become obsessed with it, but it won't feel like work because you're so passionate about it. And you'll get good at it and you'll probably make money from it. And yeah.
And in the sucky times, you can keep moving forward, right? You keep moving forward.
That's right. The fire will still keep burning because in a way you love what you do. You're obsessed with it. You love what you do. So yeah.
All right, my man. Well, listen, we appreciate you being here. Thank you again for your time. Awesome. And hey, final way, social, what's your socials for people who want to connect with you?
Mate, you can go on Facebook, The Real Estate Dingo, Instagram, but I don't accept anyone, LinkedIn, But yeah, Facebook Real Estate Dingo. Follow there.
All right, brother. Appreciate you. Thank you.
Cheers, mate.